So where did this thing all start? Like most things, I think, it stemmed from a pretty disastrous personal experience. In my case, my first family holiday with my one-year-old twins. The CBI recently reported that 83.7% of new business ideas were conceived on family holidays. Disastrous ones at that. Actually, that's a complete lie. But there's a kernel of truth in there. There is, because you gain real insight from disaster, and that's what happened to me. I took my one-year-old twins for a much-deserved bit of R&R to Florida for all the family. It was the first time we'd ever done this. And we picked, quite frankly, the wrong destination. It was definitely the wrong time zone. And if I'm honest, it was the wrong children. And everything from the first moment was completely catastrophic. So we got on the plane. They both developed a vomiting bug. Every morning they woke up at 2 thinking it was time for breakfast. The creche was full. The people hired to be childminders had been actually hired to be cooks 3 days later. And generally, all the parents just sat around the pool thinking, how did this happen to us, our precious first holiday? What's gone wrong? And if you like, that was my light bulb moment. If only I'd been able to tap into the wisdom of people, parents who knew that under fives and jet lag didn't mix. And if they knew that, they probably knew how to fold up a pushchair one-handed on a bus, and they may even have known how to maintain decent relations with your mother-in-law, all of which would have been fantastically useful. So I got back to the UK, and in the cold light of a British winter, the idea seemed still to have legs, because there was this thing called the internet that had started, and that was a perfect place to tap into this network. So back home, everyone back then, cast your mind back to 1999, the heady days of internet startup. Literally everyone and their dog had a startup idea. But I was in a good position because I'd just given up my 10-year career in the city. I'd swapped it in for a slightly dilettantish career in sports journalism. And I had less to lose, I thought. I also had a friend who could code, which was quite crucial. And I was desperate to create a workplace which allowed me to recognize an essential truth, I think, which is family comes first. Work comes second, but it definitely comes second. And where I'd worked in investment banking, the only women particularly who'd reached any kind of seniority had done it by pretending their families didn't exist. So I wanted to do it differently.